This is what you should be teaching them at this age, because in order for them to go to the next level, there's certain fundamentals you need to know. So the camps are fun from that perspective, and it's something we'll continue to do. When I lead a camp, a lot of times, you can only teach them so much. So you want to go, when I leave this camp, if you learn one or two things from this camp, when I come back in 4 or 5 months, you should have these things mastered. If you have those mastered, then I'll give you something else to do. Now, if you don't have those mastered, then I know you weren't practicing. So it's a very easy way to gauge somebody's interest in the sport, or whether they, you can have fun with it, but if you're going to compete, compete. I was a competitor, so if you're going to get out there and play, compete and be the best that you can be.
Right.
And those are the things we try to talk about as well.
That's great. And then tell us about what kind of age group. Is there age limit? Or?
Well, I think they'll start. The young ones, I think, come in the morning. Here it is here. Oh, 2nd through 6th graders will be in the morning, and 7th through 12th graders in the afternoon. So they'll have like 3 hours of instruction, 8 to 11 for the young ones, and 12 to 3:30 for the older kids. So we break them up in age groups, because sometimes it's hard to teach them when there is such a difference in the skill level.
Right.
So we take the little ones, and the other thing we try to tell them is have fun with it. Don't get so tight and that you can't go out and compete. Basketball is supposed to be fun, in particular at this age. Have fun with it. I mean, I coached my son when he was very young, and for me at that age, it was important that all the kids played. I really didn't get into winning and losing as much when they were 8, 9, 10, and 11 years old. Go out and have some fun, compete. We'll try to win, but it's not the end all, lose all. Have fun with this, and let's try to get better.
Right, and not only. Well, actually, one thing I want to ask you before we go on break is, you share with us that you've gone to China a lot because you're on a consulting basis, looking at these Chinese players, as well as I'm sure you do a lot of activity in the community. You interact with a lot of Asians. What kind of for an aspiring Asian youth player, what kind of advice you have for skill level?
Well, I'll talk about China specifically. There were some very interesting things. When I was there, the Chinese Basketball Association, which is the professional league,
CBA,
they have different levels. They have the junior teams, and then you have the professional teams. The junior teams, a lot of the kids are 17, 18, and 19 years old. What I would love to see happen, and I don't know if this could happen because, again, it's a cultural thing, I saw some very good young players. What those players needed in China was the opportunity to come here to the United States and go to university. See, there they don't go to the university. You don't have a college league. Right. So they immediately go into professional, and they play on a junior team.
Right.
So they don't really have a chance to develop and learn. So what I would love to see, and I try to tell some of the universities that they need to establish a relationship with the Chinese government and with people in China, so you can bring some of those 17 and 18-year-old kids to the United States and let them go to college and play on a college level. Right. Because you lose a lot of them by putting them in professional basketball at their young age. They don't have the chance to develop. So that was just one thing I noticed. And I saw some very good young players. Here in
Norm, let's hold that thought.
Okay.
We need to go to break really quickly, but this is a very interesting thing. So let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll talk further with NBA great Norm Nixon. Welcome back to Community Roundtable. Again, I'm your host, Henry Huang, along with my guest host, Michael Jin. And our special guest today is one of the NBA great, playing for the NBA for 12 years, serving on teams such as Los Angeles Lakers and Clippers. Also won 2 championship rings with Los Angeles Lakers. He is here today to talk about this camp that he's holding on, I believe, March 27th here locally in the city of Chino Hills. His purpose there is try to outreach to the Asian youth. And the last segment we talked a lot about, with this camp, you can really develop a lot of, skills that it's very useful in life. as well as give these kids have a chance to actually not just see them on TV performing, but feel, touch, and ask questions, about what's it like being an MBA, as well as someone that a zenith of the level to teach them about the fundamental of basketball. And we also led to very interesting topics such as, before we left off for commercial, we're talking about your experience dealing with Chinese players. I know we're talking about Chinese players, but the culture has been brought over here in America at the Asian community, where we're dissecting about the you said play loose, but it's this authority things that whatever someone in authority or the coach says, you can't really play loose, so your emotions become very rigid.
Well, that was one of the things about when they talked about Yao. They could never make him angry enough and piss him off enough, and that was a cultural thing, very humble and whatever the coach says. And I think that's one of the things when you compete against somebody that has so much fire, and then here's somebody that's still being nice and being humble. It doesn't translate sometimes. So I think I noticed that when I was there, like with the players. You walk in the gym and they just line up. And us being players from this culture, we had to loosen those guys. And no, man, come on, play. Loosen up, have some fun with this. Don't clap because we say clap. Okay, no, clap when you feel it. Loosen up, just play, have some fun with this. When we come in the gym, we work, but make it fun. Have fun, loosen up. We will tell me a suggestion. Tell me, what do you think about this? I want to know what you think about the play. What you think gonna work? Because sometimes, the coaches on the sideline, players on the floor, they can see things that we don't see from the sideline. It's happened like that many times when I was playing. You're out on the court, your coach is calling one thing, but you see something different on the floor. You have to be able to express yourself. So that was one of the things we messed with the players a lot about when I was in China.
I think it's great to go to the Norm Nixon camp, because not only will you learn basketball skills, you're going to learn life skills. Just talking to Norm and getting to know you better, it's incredible. You were high school state championship. You won 2 NBA titles. You were a first-round pick in the NBA. You've got a great business career. As far as you've been a sports agent representing NFL players, NBA players. You represented LL Cool J.
Oh, you did your research.
That's right. You've got a family, a great family. You're a great dad, 3 children, right?
Yes.
And married to a beautiful wife, Debbie Allen.
Exactly.
It must suck to be you.
No, we've had a lot of fun. I was talking, because we talked earlier. My wife was the ambassador of dance for the United States, and that took us to China a couple of times. Now, I was telling you guys a funny story. We went into Yanquan, which is at the base of Mongolia, and it's a Muslim town. And my wife was doing a master dance classes, and my son and I were out walking around, and no one had really been, not many foreigners had been into that part of China, and we were walking down the street. And the guy was eating with his chopsticks, so we started walking, and he just dropped his chopsticks and opened his mouth and just followed us walking down the street. And, in our culture, when you feel somebody staring, when you turn around, they used to look down. You turn around, guy did not take his eyes off. He was like, he had never seen anything like us before. So there were many great experiences. I was going in and out of Xi'an a lot. That's where the museum, the terracotta. So in the first dynasty, the real dynasty, first people to bring all the 13, what do you call it now?
Warring states.
Yeah, the warring states together.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting there, reading that, seeing that, and so I was just fascinated by the culture. I had a great time going, and I look forward to going back. Maybe I'll go back with you next time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.